Hello again, everyone. For the past 2 years, I have initiated a series of dialogues with local notables, trying to bring together various representatives of our community to discuss diversity, to discuss our visions for creating a more unified community in the future. Tragically, in 2020, we are still preoccupied with racism and with ignorance. So I would like today to share a modern, uplifting, inspirational Hanukkah story which might be familiar to many of you. I believe that this story reflects the loftiest characteristics of humanity. And it reminds us that the light of humanitarianism still burns brightly in many places throughout our country. In December 1993, Isaac Schnitzer, who then was a 6-year-old boy, decided to decorate his window with a colorful paper Hanukkah, a colorful paper menorah. The next day, a rock was thrown through Isaac's window, shattering glass across his bed. Fortunately, Isaac was not hurt, but the wounds were real. They were genuine. Isaac's mother decided to first go to the police, and when the police indicated that they would do all within their power, but that perhaps it would be wise for Isaac to remove that Hanukkah to avoid further vandalism, Isaac's family refused to comply. And so they went to the local newspaper. The following day, the Billings Gazette printed a pullout of a Hanukkah menorah to encourage people to place these in their homes. Well, by a great modern Hanukkah miracle, about 10,000 of these menorahs were placed in people's homes. Billings, Montana had been subject to much racism in 1993. Racism against the African American community, against the Native American community, and now against Jews. But 10,000 of these menorahs placed in people's homes became an act of unity, an act of defiance, and the best expression of how unity, understanding, solidarity can conquer hate. The political thinker Edmund Burke once wrote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing." Well, we know the story of the Danish community's solidarity with its Jewish population during World War II. The story about King Christian wearing a Jewish star or other non-Jewish citizens in Denmark wearing a star is fictional. Those are fictional stories, but nevertheless, what we know from history is that the Danish community, supported by King Christian on down, all supported the survival and the rescue of its Jews. The story goes that in 1943, the Germans declared martial law in Denmark. And with the support of King Christian and Danish citizens, it was understood that the Jewish community was in peril. And indeed, there were numbers of Jews who were deported to the concentration camp of Terezin. But by virtue of the courage and the unity of the king and the citizens of Denmark, many Danish Jews were placed in hiding. Some were ferried across the water to neutral Sweden. Eventually, due to a variety of circumstances, Germany relented, backed down, and became less assertive about deporting Jews than they were in other countries. Now, Denmark was clearly a country distinct from Poland and other nations in Eastern Europe, but nevertheless, they stood up for the Jewish population, and in doing so, stood up for humanity. So with racism so rampant to our American society, Hanukkah becomes a time for us to cherish our freedom, to cherish and to embrace the people of Billings, Montana, to cherish the people of Denmark, who in essence were among the tzadikei umot ha'olam, among the righteous throughout the world, who defied the Nazis and refused to allow the Jewish population to suffer, recognizing that if you afflict one segment of our community, you in essence afflict all of us. So I believe that while on Hanukkah we recognize and remember our freedoms and we pledge to continue our fight on behalf of Jewish freedom, we also pledge to fight on behalf of the freedom, the dignity, and honor for everyone. And so on this Hanukkah, I hope that we will embrace all Americans who are subject to a racism so antithetical to the ideals of Hanukkah. May we all soon, hopefully by next Hanukkah, achieve and enjoy this freedom together. Solidarity rather than conflict. Again, Chag Orim Sameach.